Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to go over my Chevy Volt, and I figured I would do this because I just got some new Continental 215 55 R17s for my front tires here. And these are the True Contact Tours. And I needed new tires for the front, not for the rear, so I decided just to get new tires for the front as fall and winter are approaching here. But that gave me a great excuse to go over the vehicle, tell you what I've needed with it, and explain to you, why I got this vehicle and how it's been going. So first I want to show you this on the vehicle here. I bought this in early April. It is now early August, so that would be 4 months of ownership, I believe. And I have put on, which I have to grab my keys, I have put on roughly 6,000 miles since I bought this vehicle here. We'll just turn it on because it's a quiet vehicle. So 6,158 miles I have put on the vehicle, and it just crossed over 74,000 miles here yesterday. So with that being said, I do drive this vehicle a lot, and I need to drive it a lot because I've got 3 collector vehicles here that I also own. I just got this Jeep SRT. And I got this Challenger, and of course I've had the 300. So we bought this, my girlfriend and I bought it together in April, and we are splitting all the costs on this 70-30. Of course I drive this more, so I pay more on it. And total cost after the rebate was a little over $5,000 with 74,000, well at the time, 68,000 miles on it. And I do have to make one thing clear. The title is a Lemon Law buyback on this vehicle, as seen right there, from California, because there was a very minor issue with the battery cells and they needed to be replaced. So with that being said, I want to take the keys out of the vehicle and have them with me because of one simple reason here. So we haven't had very many flaws with this vehicle, actually none at all. But the one flaw I've had is the fact that I have locked myself out of the vehicle here 2 times, and thankfully it's been in my shop, but that has left me kind of stranded, especially in this spot, because I can't get any of my vehicles out, and because I like to charge on this side of the shop and not over on that side. So I have had to run home with another vehicle, presumably my girlfriend's, and get the other key. And I'm not sure why this vehicle does that. It's a Chevrolet thing, it's a GM thing, but as soon as you get out of the car, the vehicle locks on you, which is strange. Sometimes with or without the key. I'm not totally sure why that happens. But other than that, the vehicle has been flawless. The brakes are fine after 74,000 miles. Of course, the tires you do have to replace. And I think because this vehicle does weigh so much at 3,900 pounds, I think that these tires wear out a little bit more prematurely than some, normal, let's just say Chevy Cruze or something like that, because it's just such a heavy vehicle on these 215 with tires with a 55 section sidewall. This vehicle actually, strangely enough, even compared to these SRTs and my girlfriend's GLE AMG, this vehicle gets the most reactions out of people because they have no clue what it is. I don't see a lot of Chevy Volts where I'm at in northern Wisconsin, and neither do other people's. And this is a 2013, so this is a first generation Chevy Volt. Not a lot of people see these on the roads. So I think it's interesting when somebody comes up to me, or when I have my monthly Cars and Coffee, people will ask what this is and what it does. And it's quite a conversation starter. And me as a male, this color isn't the most manly color, as I like black vehicles, but it gets the job done. It hides scratches, and quite frankly, I think personally it looks it looks really, really good. So we're going to pop the hood here and explain to you why this car is just so exciting. Interior is very basic. I bought a base model, so I don't get any of the nice features like leather or heated steering wheel or heated seats, anything like that. I just have a very basic interior, and for me, I am totally okay with that. There is no hydraulic hood strut on here, so you just have the safety bar, which holds the hood up. But here's what makes the Volt so interesting for people to look at. So you have your 1.4 liter Atkinson cycle generator engine right there. And then that generator engine powers the Voltec system. And then the Voltec system turns all of that energy into a battery power underneath the vehicle, which is all underneath. It's a T-shaped battery, so it is fitted underneath the vehicle back there. So the weight is distributed very evenly, but if you take a look at this console in the middle and why the Volt can only fit 4 people, it's because the battery extends from here and then it sits underneath the rear cargo area as well. So that's pretty interesting. So not only do you have the Voltec system and the engine up front, but you have the batteries in the back, and this is actually quite a good handling vehicle on the road. If it had some wider tires and maybe some larger rims, it would handle, maybe some 18s, it would handle a lot better than what it does right now. And right now it's a great handler, especially in rain, I do have to say. Very interesting and unique system here. I'm not sure why more companies aren't doing this right now with their vehicles, because people want hybrid cars. And I'm very happy to own this. It costs me $50 a month to charge the vehicle, 50 to 60, depending on how many miles I drive. And half of that charge is at my business, so half of it is an expense for my business, and I can use as a write-off, essentially, which is awesome. And even though that's $30, that can definitely have, an impact at the end of the day when I'm trying to have some tax savings. But a very unique system, very cool, and it's not very powerful. 141 horsepower total combined and about 280 foot-pound torque. But it propels this car 0 to 60 in about 9 seconds. And for us, that is totally adequate. It's such a relaxing vehicle to drive. The dampening on the vehicle is actually set up towards the comfort side. It's pretty quiet. All you hear is tire noise and wind noise when you're driving, and that is it, unless that gas generator pumps on, and that is not very loud unless you get it high up in the rev range. But it's really not a loud engine. Looking at the interior here, it's held up excellent over 72,000 miles. There is some ripping of the weather stripping right here. That was not done by me. That was done by the previous owner, but it's really held up well here over the 72,000 miles that it's lived its life, and the 6,000 that we have had it for. I think the interior is quite unique on this vehicle. I know some reviewers will kind of throw shade at the fact that the material is really cheap, which it is really cheap, let's be honest. But the saving grace of it is that it's cheap, but it's used in a way to make the interior stand out from other cheap interiors, like on my Challenger or even the Jeep or the Charger or the 300. I mean, it's just a flat interior. There's nothing like these panels right here that show a little bit of character to it. As you can see, basically everything's hard plastic. But that's okay. It's done in a way to kind of mix it up a little bit and not make it so boring. It's an added little bit of an excitement to the vehicle itself. And me being 5'8", I fit perfectly in here, and I thoroughly enjoy driving it. Now, this steering wheel here is pure vinyl. It's probably one of the worst steering wheels that I've ever used in my whole entire life. The leather steering wheel in this is a hell of a lot nicer than this vinyl one, but it gets the job done. I mean, I can't really explain it. I can't really complain at the price point of this vehicle, especially when you get 2 digital displays with the vehicle and some touch sensitive buttons as well with the vehicle. Taking a look here at the rear, that's held up very nicely as well. More than enough room for me to sit behind myself, I should note. And honestly, this little console here, for us, we don't carry more than just the 2 of us in this vehicle. This wouldn't be our road trip vehicle. This is just our everyday driver. But taking a look at it, I have more than enough room behind myself to sit back here. I have just a ton of space, and it's actually quite nice because it's a hatchback. You don't feel like you're claustrophobic sitting behind yourself in such a small vehicle. You almost get a little bit of a sunroof back here, which is sweet. One thing they could have did here though was put and I think they have it on nicer trims, they could have put an armrest here for your arm instead of just leaning your arm on nothing, essentially. But you do get a little cigarette lighter, 12-volt outlet right there, which is nice. You do get some storage in here as well for your whatever you got, phone, drinks. It's pretty swell back here. Now as we get out, the doors open up very wide so you can get out. The back is definitely not as nice as the front. It's very cheap. Everything's hard plastic back here. There's really no design put into the rear seats. But opening up the hatchback here, this is where the Volt shines. There is so much room back here. And as you can see by the dog hair, we had my girlfriend and I in the front seat yesterday. We put down the rear seats. We threw our 100-pound golden retriever in the back. And we put 2 baskets of laundry with the seats down. That is amazing. That's more than you could fit in the rear of my SRT Grand Cherokee or her AMG GLE. So it's quite awesome how much space you've got here because it's a hatchback, and the carryover height isn't that bad either to get stuff in the back. So if you're looking for some sort of hatchback or daily driver with a ton of space, the Chevy Volt beats anything else I have ever tested. It's non-power, of course, but you do get a nice little grab handle right there, and it shuts as it should. The doors do feel a little on the light side, of course, but it gets the job done, and it does what it needs to do as a vehicle to perform. So overall, I have to say this is definitely top 3 vehicles, again, that I've ever owned, maybe even top 2. It's exciting because you have a linear performance 0 to 30 that is fairly quick. And for somebody like me who doesn't get to experience electric cars, you get that electric experience with this vehicle. And granted, it's not very fast, but you can throw it around corners and you can have fun, which is what you want. So over the course of the 6,000 miles that we've owned this vehicle, we've had 0 issues with it. And it's definitely worth the money. The looks are good. The Voltec system is very unique. At the Cars and Coffee I host, this is the most talked about vehicle all the time. Besides, some classics, but in terms of modern cars, this is the most talked about vehicle because nobody knows the Voltec system and how it propels the car. This is definitely an over-engineered product, and we fully expect this to last well over 150,000 miles. So with that being said, guys, that's it for me. I thought I'd give a little update on our Volt and see how it's running, and it's doing very well. So if you like this content, like this car review content, like and subscribe, and there will be more of it.